Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Nezzy's Place podcast, where truth lives. I am your fabulous host, Vanez Davis, and I am thrilled to be able to share another inspiring show with you today. Today kicks off our February Love series, and I'm so excited about that. You know, love is an action word. And it's also the feeling of attachment we feel for others. Love means so much to so many people. However, today we are talking about unconditional love beyond divorce, the kind of love that exceeds the norm. I'm so excited to have my special guest with me today who will share her experience regarding this topic, unconditional love. Welcome to the show, Laverne Hall.
Hey Cassandra, how you doing?
I'm so happy that you are here, and I appreciate you for clearing your schedule just to be with me today. I'm so excited today. I'm so excited.
Very excited.
Girl, I am too. So Laverne, we've known each other for a while, and we always chatting about something, aren't we?
Always.
And every time I chat with you, I always learn a little bit more about you. But it was during one of our conversations that we were talking about marriage and divorce and where this subject came up. And I was so fascinated about it. And it was an incredible story. And I was actually blown away by your story. And I thought it'd be great for you to share about unconditional love. Before we go to the end and we get into that, we always have to start from the beginning. Right? Mm-hmm. So let's go back when you first met. Tell me about how you met and the fun times and all that.
Okay, so we grew up in the projects. His family was well known. I used to see him playing in the playground at the basketball court, and during this time I already had a boyfriend. I was like about 15 years old, and I was a quiet girl, shy. He was the star football player on the football team that he played for. So us growing up in the projects, then we got to know each other. And one day I came home and he was sitting on the porch with my brother. And for some reason I became attracted to him. And so that's where it all began. I was this little shy, basically church girl, and this this big, strong, athletic, handsome football guy showed interest in me, and that's where it all started. We were very young, teenage sweethearts. His personality, people are like, you're you, how do you get with him? Because his personality fills a room.
Big personality.
Big, huge personality. You know when he's there.
Walks in, I'm here.
That's right. Center of attention, where I'm like in a corner somewhere, just checking folks out. Yeah.
But opposites attract sometimes, and it's a good balance.
Yeah.
Because you don't want two extra people.
Right, true.
Because there'd be too much.
Yeah.
But that was a good balance.
Yeah, it was.
So that's what drew you to him.
Yes.
And you started dating.
Yeah.
How long did you date?
We dated from starting in 11th grade.
Oh, wow. High school.
Yeah. And then we graduated from high school in 1974. 1975, we had a child. In 1976, we got married.
So did you date anyone else in between, or
just the one in between? No, I had.
So it was him and him only.
Yes, I had one little boyfriend before him, and after that, it was just him. He's the only guy that I've ever been with.
That's beautiful.
You know what I'm saying?
So tell me, you guys met, you dated, you fell in love, and you got married. There was something that you mentioned that your daughter did on your wedding day. Tell us a little bit about that day.
We got married. She was like 1 year old, waving at me as I'm coming down the aisle in my white dress.
Oh, that is so...
Hi, Mommy.
Yeah. But the thing about it is you did it.
Yeah.
You did it. You made it right. You wanted it to be a good family structure.
Yes.
So you did the right thing.
Yeah.
So fast forward a little bit. So you got married and everything was great. And apparently in any relationship, sometimes things start to shift no matter why or whatever. So tell us a little bit about the shift in your relationship. How did the shift start?
I don't know how it started. Okay, after all this stuff we've been through, and I find out more and more about him, like after the divorce and stuff, apparently he wasn't all that faithful during the whole relationship.
Oh boy, do we know that story all too well, right?
Yes. So I'm this little naive girl, woman, thinking everything is hunky-dory, And then I started noticing things.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's one thing we do as women. Sometimes we don't pay attention to all the signs.
Right.
Because I can tell you in my relationships, I didn't pay attention to all the signs. And just like you said, you look back now.
Right.
In retrospect.
Yes.
You can see things like, oh, that didn't match.
Exactly.
Oh, that T wasn't crossed or that I wasn't dotted or something like that. And then you have your answers. But the thing is, you have your answers.
Right.
So you move forward. You see some things in the relationship. Things start to shift.
Every single weekend, he would go out partying, out to the bars. There was this one little bar he used to go to. I used to want to bomb the place.
Catch it on fire.
Every weekend, me and my kids would hear the ironing board getting set up, and he getting ready to go out. They talk about this, Dad and that ironing board. Then he started hanging out. They say birds of a feather flock together.
Yes, I understand.
He hung out with dudes that messed around. That's all they did.
Yes.
So, and he was, home cup boys with them. So then a couple of times he would come home, and one time he came home, he had lipstick on your collar.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, well, what's that? He goes, oh, my sister was trying to hug me.
A lie.
You know what I'm saying? So I would see little things.
But you already knew.
Yes.
Right.
I truly believe in women's intuition.
Intuition, yes.
I tried to find it connected to something in the Bible because I really believe it is a gift from God. The only thing I could come up was with the gift of discernment. That's the closest I could get to it. So I kind of felt that something was going on, but I had no proof.
Yes.
And of course, everybody else in the world would see him out with different women and stuff like that. But nobody ever really told me. And they were after the divorce, girl, oh yes, I saw such and such a thing. I just didn't want to hurt your feelings.
Right. They didn't want to tell you.
Right. So what did it? He came home one day. Me and the kids were asleep. He came home and woke everybody up. He woke us up. He says, y'all get up. He said, I got to tell y'all something. And I'm folding clothes. He said, I have a 5-month-old daughter. And I don't know what my kids' reaction was. I don't know if they was crying. Because they were like teenagers. I just kept folding clothes. And I think I was in shock or something.
And you probably already, in your spirit, you probably already felt something.
Yes. Yeah, so he told us that. And so I said, in my mind, I'm like, well, I've been with him for 24 years. I'm not going to because people make mistakes,
right.
even though they can be very drastic, life-changing mistakes. I said, I'm not going to let this woman or whatever come in, and just destroy my family life. I've been with him for 24 years. So I said, I'm going to try to work it out. So, I hung in there, and he would bring the baby around, because I told my children, I said, this man is your father. He has done very well by you. I demand that you love and you respect him. That's the right thing to do.
It's honorable.
And that is your sister. She has nothing to do with what happened. She didn't ask to be brought here. Okay, so we did that for a little while.
How long was a little while?
I'm gonna say maybe I don't think it was a year, because after that great announcement, he came back again to me.
Okay, it's not funny. Back then, it's funny now.
Right.
But back then, right.
He came back to me and he said, I got something to tell you. He said, she pregnant again and she thinks it's mine.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's a blow in the face. That is just like major disrespect.
Major disrespect.
To the 10th power.
Really. I said, okay. I said, okay, what we're going to do is when she has the baby, we're going to get a blood test done. A blood test came back 99.999999.
Wow. 100%. Let's
Really? Really?
100% yours.
After that, I was like, I'm out. I am out.
That was your tipping point.
That was it.
That was your tipping point.
I'm nice. I can tell you, I know I'm a really nice person. Yeah. I have a point that I can reach where, that's it.
Right.
So after that, my plan was to move out, get a divorce. So I started secretly getting all my stuff together. Wow. I went to the boss that I was working for at the time and had him write me a letter, like a reference letter saying I'm dependable, blah, blah, blah. And then I got my little credit together. I went, and it's just so much. When I look back, it just shows how good God is. Yes. And how the Bible talks about how He orders your steps. He goes before us. How He is our watchtower. Yes. The person in the watchtower, they can see miles and miles beyond what we can see.
Come on, girl, you better preach
in our lives. You know what I'm saying? God knew this stuff was coming.
Yes.
So in the meantime, before all this stuff happened, the Lord would have it where I work, they started looking at everybody's jobs to see if our pay was up to what it was supposed to be. Mine wasn't. I got like a $5,000 raise.
Well, look at God.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. So that happened. So when I started, my sister told me about these nice apartments to check out. I got all this information together and I went to the apartment manager. He was an alumnus of where I work. Real nice young man. I gave him all this information. When I got home, the phone rang. He said, "You have the apartment." I hadn't even looked at the apartment. I was just so anxious to get out.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So I started getting boxes and all this stuff. And my son came home one day and he said his father looked around and said, "Why are all these boxes here? Is your mother moving?"
You think?
Yeah. He goes, "Yeah, Dad, I think she's moving. She's getting her own apartment." So eventually I moved. And another thing, when all this stuff was happening, I not only was rejected by my husband, I was rejected by a new boss that came along. He called me in his office one day and said, "We've been talking about this position for a new position that we were thinking about having for a long time." First he was like, "Can you come into my office?" I came into his office with my notebook, getting ready to take down whatever he had to say. And he was talking about this job, and he was like, "I think you'd be a great candidate for this job." And I'm like, "Am I being demoted?" And he was like, "No, you're not being demoted. We just putting you in this position." And so that turned out very well. The people that I work for treat me very well. Yeah.
That's favor.
Yeah.
That's favor.
Yeah.
So you move out through everything that you've gone through, the bitterness, the betrayal, the hurt, the feelings. You move out, you start a new life as single mom, basically on your own, raising the kids. So let's go into a little bit of how did you get your life back? How did you start to focus on you, your kids, and get your life back? Because you had to be in a good frame of mind to get to the next part of where we're going in the story.
Right. Talking about frame of mind, there's a scripture that talks about the peace of God that surpasses all understanding. I experienced that and didn't realize that I was experiencing that because I truly loved my husband. My husband was not almost equal to God if you want to be
You
truthful about it. He was on. I had him on the highest pedestal you could put a man on. So that was the worst thing that ever happened to me. I describe it as a cannonball, a hole as big as a cannonball being in my back. So, and I was like, you know, there must be something wrong with me because I'm not breaking down. I'm not trying to fall off the sidewalk or hurt myself. I just couldn't understand why I wasn't acting like I thought I would be acting. But that's because I had the peace of God that surpassed all understanding.
And I understand exactly what you're saying because some of your story is amazing just to hear it.
Really?
And the depth of what we're going into today is because I can identify with a lot of the feelings you felt, the betrayal, and the peace of God.
Yes.
I mean, I actually, when I found out that my ex was sleeping around, and I think that following week I went to go get my eyelashes done, and I was sharing with a friend of mine who I felt comfortable sharing this with. She said, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, why?" She goes, "I don't know. You're too calm about this thing." I said, "Girl, I'm so peaceful right now because God is carrying me through this. He's already gone into my future. I'm good now." I'm not gonna lie, it did hurt. But I had peace.
Yes.
And that's the thing. When you walk through and you praising and you walking through because you know God is your peace.
Yes.
And no matter what you're going through, He's covering you.
Amen.
All that.
Me, yeah. And then you talk about bitterness. I did not want bitterness in my heart. There were, and I'll be honest, and I know that God knows my innermost thoughts. There would be one day I would wake up and say, "Lord, you know my heart. Today I wish a Mack truck would come and squash both of them." I said, "Lord, that's all."
You were just being real.
For real.
You were being real.
Yes.
24 years.
Amen.
You being real, girl.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then one day I would wake up, I say, "Lord, bless him, bless her." I don't know what happened in her life to make her, feel like she could, break up marriages like that and whatever.
That's commendable.
But yeah. And like I say, I didn't want bitterness, and I didn't want my children to be bitter. I didn't want to be bitter. I read somebody said the root of bitterness blows out the candle of joy and leaves the soul in darkness. I don't want a dark soul.
No.
I don't. And then after all this happened, my ex got sick. He had to be hospitalized. And after he was in the hospital, he had to come back to his house and somebody had to take care of him. Me and my children took care of my ex-husband. I literally had to help him bathe.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's the part where we definitely want to focus on because that's the whole meaning of this show today.
Yes.
Is your unconditional love beyond divorce.
Right.
So there's a different relationship between you and him.
Right.
Right. So you go to the hospital, you take care of him, and you are getting him, helping him, nursing him.
Yes.
His personal nurse.
Yes.
Back to health.
Yeah.
And we've only seen this in the movies.
Yeah.
Several movies would come to mind that we thought where the ex would have to go back and take care of the...
Right.
And that is seriously unconditional
and
love.
we'd be like, she crazy.
Exactly. We've seen it.
I wouldn't be doing nothing like that after all he
push
did.
him down the steps.
For real.
Okay?
Yeah.
You want me to take care of you?
Right.
Come on over here.
Yeah.
I'll take care of you.
Mm-hmm.
But that's commendable of you. I mean, and it's only because of your love for God.
Amen. All the glory goes... I get no glory. That's God. That's God.
Tell us a little bit more about that part of your life. How did that work for you? How was it at first when you had to make that decision to take care of him? Did you fight with that?
Actually, I didn't. I guess it's because I loved him. And I still do love my ex-husband, but I don't love him in the way where I'd want to get back married to him again.
Right.
He will always have a very special part in my heart, in my life. We have children. We have grandchildren. Every Christmas, every major holiday, he is at my house. Wow. At the table, get me this, get me that. He's present in our lives. And as a matter of fact, and I think this was a witness to the way I handle him, was a witness to him. He is saved and sanctified.
What?
He goes to my church.
Get out of here.
He beats me there. And those people they've known him since he was a teenager. They absolutely love him. I see him every Sunday. Every Sunday.
Saying hi.
Yup.
Giving them a hug.
No, I don't do that, but
Well, okay, let me do that again. Saying hi.
Yeah.
Waving.
Yeah.
Smiling.
Yeah. Have a little conversation. Yeah.
And keep it moving.
That's right. I have a friend that knew about all this was happening, and she wasn't in the church. My friend said that as she witnessed watching me and how I treated my husband, she gave her life to Christ.
Wow.
Yeah.
You talk about a remarkable story. That's a remarkable story because everyone can't do that. Even though there are some people who are saved or love the Lord and have good hearts, they can't do it.
Right.
So the level of love that you have for God, level of love that you have for Him, even though you don't love Him in the sense of I want to be your mate again.
Right.
But love and respect as a human being.
Right.
A friend.
Right. Yes.
This is someone who I spent so many years with. You're my friend. You're my friend first.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna help you out. I'm gonna take care of you.
Mm-hmm.
That is amazing.
Thank
Amazing story. And I tell you, listening to your story today, I hope that there are a few people listening who may have to decide to make that choice. Make that choice of helping their ex-mate with maybe some of their health issues or things like that.
Right.
So, anything else that you want to share with us before we leave today?
Well, what comes to my mind is this little saying that they used to have a while ago. The saying is, what would Jesus do? I always have that in the back of my mind. What would Jesus do in certain situations? And if we pick what Jesus would do, we make the right choice.
Right.
And even if that choice goes against what we would personally do. And it's hard. And let me tell you, I am by far not a perfect individual human being. I have faults. Mm-hmm. Okay? Mm-hmm. But that's how I live my life. What would Jesus do? And I try to think of when situations come up in my mind within microseconds, I'm thinking what's the outcome is going to be of the decision that I just made.
Right.
This is how I live my life. And sometimes it might be to a fault. Sometimes it might be to where people talk about you and call you soft or,
That's crazy. I would never do that. Yeah,
really,
right.
Saying you basically are a punk. Mm-hmm. But they don't have anywhere to put you.
Right.
Eternal life is eternal life. These little few 65, 60, whatever years are here on earth is nothing compared to where we're going to be, how we're going to live once we leave this earth.
That's right.
So I always have that in the back of my mind.
Yes. And it's good to know that you still are friends.
Yes.
You can have a conversation.
Yes. He babysits our grandkids.
Wow. That is so awesome. Mm-hmm. That is awesome. Well, and it's also good to know that through divorce, that having unconditional love and a good friendship and respect is attainable.
Yes.
And if you're listening and this is something that you're going through, it is attainable and you can do it. It's not something that you have to feel reluctant about, but you can do it. And you can feel so happy that you're able to help another person, regardless of who they are.
Right.
So one thing that I would like to know about, how did it make you feel, and what have you learned about yourself through this whole thing?
I learned that I am stronger than what I thought I was. And it's hard for me to say things about myself where I'm uplifting myself. Mm-hmm. But I am a strong woman.
Yes,
and
you are.
Can't nobody tell me that I'm not.
That's right.
I don't care how quiet, how shy I am. I'm strong. I don't have to be strong the way you're strong.
And that's powerful.
Yes.
To know that you are a strong woman.
Yes.
That's powerful.
And I have to add, I'm strong through Jesus Christ.
That's right.
That's right.
Thank you so much for sharing today. And in wrapping up, before we get out of here, what is one belief nugget regarding unconditional love that you would like to leave us with today?
Don't go according to the way you feel. Override your feelings and do the right thing.
Override your feeling and do the right thing. Well, Laverne, it has been a pleasure talking to you today. And I am so excited that we got a chance to get together. And thank you so much for being on the show. And thank you for being so transparent.
You're welcome.
And I wish you much happiness, many blessings in your life. And I know that great things are in store for you. But I just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
For sharing your story with us.
Thank you for listening to me today and for even being interested in my story.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, that's our show for you today, guys, and I definitely want to thank Laverne Hall for being a special guest on the show today. And as we heard in her story, how unconditional love was displayed in her life, we will never know how it will have to be displayed in our lives. So we have to be open and we have to be mindful because you just never know. Well, until next week, I want to remind you, you can always go to the Nezzy's Place website and listen to all the previous episodes of the podcast. And you can also order your copy of Girlfriend, Your House is a Mess. And like I always say, it's your house, your life, and your rules. This is a day that we will never see again. So we have to make each day count. Have a great day, and I'll see you next week. I am out.